What's up everyone, we're going to be going through the best NBA player props on Prizepicks today. Now I did want to show you the results from yesterday's picks from my exclusive Discord group, and as you guys see, we actually got 16 picks correct, which was absolutely insane. So we're on a huge hot streak, but if you want to get 16 picks right like me, win more bets, to receive the best picks from some of the best bettors in the world for less than a cup of coffee, you can access the exclusive Discord and meet some of the best sport bettors in the game by joining my Patreon, which should be linked down below in the description. Once you join, you'll have complete access to the Discord and can start winning more bets today. So make sure to join my Patreon using the link in the description. And here's one of our members who just signed up and won himself $400 just yesterday, and another member who won $50 for the 6th day in a row since joining my Discord. So guys, if you want to win big money like our members, the link will be in the description, so go join the Patreon to have access to the Discord group, and I will be continuing to upload every single day on this channel the best bets and props, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss my daily uploads. Alright, so let's get straight into the first pick. And when it comes to these picks, I'm not saying to chuck all of them into a parlay and hope for the best. Pick and choose the ones that you like and the ones that work best for you. So first pick we're going to be talking about is Dennis Schroder for 15.5 points, and this one is for less. Now look at Dennis Schroder. We've actually seen him go on the under in 2 out of the last 5 games, and they do face off against none other than the Boston Celtics. Now as you all know, when we look at Boston Celtics, they are a very strong team, and Boston Celtics do actually rank, when it comes to points allowed, they do actually rank 11th. So very high in that category, and that's a big reason why we do very much like the under for this situation here. When it comes to Dennis Schroder, although he is a fantastic player, we definitely see a lot of great defense from Boston, and they actually do a very good job at restricting points to the guard position, which is what Dennis Schroder is. You also do have to remember when it comes to Schroder as well that, you know, when it comes to his team, the Brooklyn Nets, they haven't really been doing too well as of lately, so we could see a blowout game in this situation, and Dennis Schroder could get out early. So because of that, we do very much like the under for this one. So Dennis Schroder, 15.5 points for less, I think is a fantastic pick. Now getting to the next one, we're going to be talking about Kevin Durant. So as you all know, KD, great player, and this one is for 35.5 points, rebs, and assists, and this one is for less. Now look at KD. We've actually seen him go on the under in 2 out of the last 5 games, and they do face off against none other than the Dallas Mavericks. Now as you all know, when we look at the Dallas Mavericks, we do see that Dallas, when it comes to first points allowed, we actually do see that the Dallas Mavericks do rank, you know, pretty average, you know, not too great in certain categories, but they rank 5th in points allowed first. Secondly, when we move over to assists allowed, we see that the Dallas Mavericks do rank 18th, so a little bit lower there. And then moving on from that, moving on to rebounds allowed, we actually see the Dallas Mavericks ranking 27th. So because of that, we do very much like still the under for this situation here, as Dallas actually do a very good job at restricting points, rebs, and assists to the forward position. When it comes to Dallas Mavericks as well, you do have to remember that they do run a slow pace type basketball. So because of that, we definitely see KD's pace and also his volume may not be the same as we always used to see. You know, we may see a little bit more of not just a slower pace game, but also less volume from KD, which can definitely affect his PRA coming into this game. Now, although over the last 5, he has averaged 37.8, it is above this line, but this isn't really too worrying for us. Yes, he's had a couple of good games, but like we always say, matchups. That's what's most important. And with a matchup like this, we definitely see someone like KD going on the under here. So I definitely would keep an eye out for Kevin Durant coming into this matchup, especially with the way things have been going so far. So, you know, definitely keep an eye out for Kevin Durant. When we also look at what the bookies are saying, the bookies also have him favored for the under as well. So that definitely helps us in our favor, and that's why we are sticking to the under here. So Kevin Durant for 35.5 points, rebs, and assists for less, I think is an absolute steal. Now getting to the next one, we're going to be talking about Jaylen Johnson. So as you all know, Jaylen Johnson, another great player, and there's actually the exact same line, 35.5 points, rebs, and assists for Jaylen Johnson, and this one actually also is for less. Now look at Jaylen Johnson. We've actually seen him go on the under in 2 out of the last 5 games, and they do face off against none other than the Detroit Pistons. Now Detroit Pistons do surprisingly rank 8th in points allowed. When we move over to assists allowed, we see that they do rank 10th, and then they also rank 1st in rebounds rebounds allowed. So Detroit have had a pretty decent season. I wouldn't say anything horrific, but it's not the best or anything like that. But when it comes to Detroit, they actually do a really good job at restricting points, rebounds, and assists, and especially to the forward position, they also do a very good job at restricting those, categories. Now, a big reason why we do very much like the under for this one is not only that Detroit Pistons do rank very high, but on top of that, when it actually comes to Detroit Pistons, they are a very, very slow-paced team, and we tend to see them slow, the pace of a lot of teams, throughout. So we definitely see that being a big case coming into this matchup. We do very much like the under for the situation here for someone like Jaylen Johnson, and we can definitely see him going on the under. So his average over the last 5 has been 39.2, so it is above the line, but we aren't too worried about that. He's gone on the under 2 out of the last 5, and especially against Detroit Pistons, we should see him, kind of struggle a little bit and go on the under in this situation here. So definitely keep an eye out for Jaylen Johnson. I see a lot of value there. So Jaylen Johnson, 35.5 points, revs, and assists for less, I think is a great pick. So as you all know, I do want to get these picks out to you as soon as possible, but Prizepicks is delayed with some of their lines. So here are a couple of players you should definitely watch out for when their lines drop. So the first player we're going to be talking about is none other than Klay Thompson, and he has been playing great for the Dallas Mavericks, averaging 14.5 points, 3.5 rebounds, and 1.8 assists. So he's done a fantastic job for the Dallas Mavericks, and the Dallas Mavericks do face off against the Phoenix Suns. Now, Phoenix Suns have had a really great start to the season, going 7-1. Mavericks 5-3. But when we look at the matchup that they do face off again, when we actually look at the Phoenix Suns, we do see that the Suns, when it comes to points allowed, they do rank 14th. On top of that, when it comes to assists allowed, they also do rank 14th in that category. And then rebounds allowed, they actually do rank 21st. So very mid-tier to low tier in certain categories, but because of that, we do very much like the over for this situation for someone like Klay Thompson. Although Suns is a great team, they do allow quite a lot of volume when it comes to points from the opposition, and that's what we do see, or what we see happening for someone like Klay Thompson coming into this game. Now, so far this season, he has been putting on pretty good performances. Klay Thompson has definitely taken a smaller role, but he still does have a definite good usage rate. Now, when it comes to his lines, I definitely would focus a lot more on points and revs. I see him getting more of an actual line out there. He's not really too much of a playmaker, so you shouldn't really expect the line there. But when it comes to points and revs, I see a lot of value there, and a lot of value there to actually go on the over as well. So I would keep an eye out for Klay Thompson, especially with what he's doing so far. He has been great, and especially on top of that, when we look at Klay Thompson's, usage rate out there, it's been very, very good. He's taken a good amount of attempts per game, which I think is fantastic to see, and it should continue on into this next game. On top of that, when we look at Suns and the Mavericks, we are expecting a decent, pace when it comes to the game, a good amount of pace to be able to get Klay Thompson, have enough volume to be able to go over on his lines there. So definitely keep an eye out for Klay Thompson. I see a lot of value there, but like I always mentioned, keep an eye out for the line first. If the line is under his averages, then definitely look to go on the over. Now, getting to the next player, we're going to be talking about Mikal Bridges. So Mikal Bridges, as we all know, from the New York Knicks, has been averaging 16.1 points, 3.1 rebounds, and 3.4 assists. So he's done a fantastic job for none other than the New York Knicks, and the New York Knicks do face off against the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, as you all know, when we look at Milwaukee Bucks, they do actually rank 23rd when it comes to points allowed. On top of that, when it comes to assists allowed, they do rank 16th, and then rebounds allowed, the Bucks also do rank, a little bit lower, a low category, and that is none other than 22nd. So, they rank really, really low in all categories, and for that reason, we do very much like the over for this situation here. And when we look at a player like Mikal Bridges, especially in his new team and the New York Knicks, they face off against Bucks. Bucks right now are actually 2-6. So they're on a little bit of a cold streak, and I think it will continue on in this next game. And I see Mikal Bridges being able to take advantage of this and being able to go on the over here. Now, Mikal's not only a fantastic player in all facets, but he does have a good amount of usage rate in all departments. So we definitely can see him going on the over, no matter whether it's points, rebs, or assists. Now, the Bucks also do struggle against the small forward position, which is what Mikal is. And on top of that, we are expecting a good amount of pace from both of these teams, and we definitely could see someone like Mikal going on the over here. So I would definitely keep an eye out for Mikal Bridges. I see a lot of value there to go on the over, but like I always mentioned, you want to keep an eye out for the line first. If the line is under his averages, then definitely look to go on the over there. Now getting to the next player, we're going to be talking about Trae Young. So Trae Young, as we all know, fantastic player as always, and he does play for Atlanta Hawks, who's been averaging 23.8 points, 4.6 rebounds, and 10.9 assists. So he's done a fantastic job, and especially when it comes to the Hawks, they do face off against none other than the Detroit Pistons. So it is going to be a very, very exciting game, but when we look at actually Detroit Pistons, we do see that Detroit do actually rank 8th when it comes to points allowed. On top of that, when it comes to assists allowed, they do rank 10th, and then 1st in rebounds allowed. So we touched on this earlier, but we do very much like the under for this situation here due to the fact that Detroit Pistons rank very high in all categories. Like we mentioned with Jaylen Johnson earlier, when it comes to Trae Young, we see a similar outcome coming into this game. We expect him to go on the under due to the fact that not only do Detroit rank really high, in all categories, but on top of that, Detroit Pistons slow the pace of the game quite down. Trae Young likes to play fast pace type basketball, and definitely see that being a big effect on him. And on top of that, when it actually comes to the Atlanta Hawks and Detroit Pistons matchup, the Detroit Pistons also do a very good job at restricting points, rebs, and assists to the point guard position. So we definitely see that being a big case here. So because of that, I would definitely keep an eye out for the under for this situation for someone like Trae Young. When it comes to Trae Young as well, although he has had some pretty big games, he has been a little bit 50-50, when it comes to his shooting percentages out there sometimes, and during some of the games, you definitely see that maybe being a big consideration coming into this one. So we are liking the under for this one. Keep an eye out for the line. If the line is too close to his averages, then definitely look to go on the under there. So guys, if you do want to win more bets and win more money, don't forget to join our exclusive Discord group by signing up to our Patreon. Should be linked down below in the description, or you can also find it in the pinned comment down below. Once you join, you'll have complete access to the Discord and can start winning more bets and win more money today. So guys, I'll see you over there, and I'll see you soon. Peace.